While I was pulling the curtains one evening, I accidentally noticed a boy. At that exact moment, he looked up and spotted me staring. The next morning, as I was getting ready to drive my son to school, I discovered that the garage door was stuck halfway open again. I asked my son to pull the emergency cord while I tried to lift the door myself, but no matter how hard I pushed, the thing wouldn't budge. Just then, a pair of strong arms appeared behind me and easily lifted the door the rest of the way. When I turned around to see who had rescued me from my battle, and when a neighbor came over and explained that the boy was his nephew, and would be staying with him for a while. My son casually said hello to him and walked into the garage as if he owned the place. After looking things over, the boy figured out that the track was the problem and said it would only take a few parts from the hardware store to fix it. Before I even had a chance to object, he had already grabbed my son and headed off toward the store. For reasons I couldn't quite explain, that small moment sent a warm feeling into a heart that had been cold for a long time. After that, the boy and I gradually got to know each other better, and my son quickly became friends with him too. Because of that, I started inviting him over for dinner fairly often. Strangely though, the atmosphere after meals always felt a little off. The boy liked lingering around me, finding reasons to stay close, and somehow this kid, who was about the same age as my son, ended up bringing unexpected color into my otherwise dull life. One night happened to be my son's birthday, and my husband said that once he got back from his business trip, he would take us all on a family outing. Seeing how excited my son was, I agreed. Exactly, my husband was traveling. He never gave me a clear answer. That made my stomach sink. Because the last time he went on a business trip, he ended up having an affair. I had chosen not to divorce him, mostly because I wanted my son to grow up with a complete family. But hearing that he was leaving again stirred up the same old fear. A few days later, he took our son to Mammoth Lakes. That night, I was home alone, quietly enjoying the rare peace and solitude, when the boy called and said he couldn't cook and wondered if I could come help him. I didn't think much of it and went over to his place. After dinner though, the mood suddenly felt strange. He kept looking at me in a way that made my skin prickle and started complimenting my looks, which immediately gave me a bad feeling. I grabbed my coat, planning to leave, but he leaned in and kissed me. The next morning I felt deep regret over that impulsive mistake. Not long after that, my husband came home with our son, and everything seemed normal until I was in the kitchen and suddenly heard a voice that was far too familiar. When I stepped out to look, I saw the boy sitting there chatting comfortably with my husband like old friends. I forced myself to stay calm on the outside, but inside I was completely falling apart. Throughout the conversation, he kept pushing closer to a line I prayed he wouldn't cross, testing my limits again and again. But in the end, he stopped short of doing it.